Dogs add everything to our lives.
Everyone signs up for, tennis balls and walks in the park and cuddles on the couch and stuff like that. And sometimes you get a dog and you realize it's that plus, 2 or 3 other rotten things that you don't want to deal with.
Any dog is welcome here.
All Breed Rescue and Training is a community entity. We are here to not only adopt and give second chances to dogs who wouldn't normally get it. We are here to educate the community as much as possible about the responsible ownership of dogs. I came to All Breed Rescue and Training in 1999 as a client. I was having some problems with a dog that we had gotten. His name was Jake. And all of the training that I had previously tried with Jake was making things worse. I mean, that was through a lot of heavy-handed dominance sort of stuff and prong collars and shot collars and all that other kind of stuff. You had to be the alpha. You had to be the, very strong and domineering in order to get the dog to respect you.
Dogs are treated differently here because they're treated as individuals. So no 2 dogs are alike. They're each going to have little quirks and little nuances that they have with their personality and their behavior. So we really work hard to say, this dog needs this care and this rehab, and this is what they need in order to become the best pet that they can be.
When dogs raise dogs, they turn out fine. It's just that when humans get involved and they start raising dogs, and the reason is dogs speak a different language, body language, versus humans that are verbal and written. And so, we're teaching them this foreign language. We should sort of learn, their language.
All right, so next thing we're going to do is your EPA, your emergency pay attention cue. So that was your look. You're going to say, as soon as I have your dog's attention, you're going to say the cue, click and find down after the dog looks at you. Hi, Scouty. What did you do?
Scouty, look.
Click. Fine dine. When I first met with them, I was absolutely unconvinced that it was going to do anything. This is hippie dog training. There's just no way.
Want to come outside? Want to come and play?
Let's go train. You can go train? Hi, baby. Hi.
Good boy. Yes, so what we're doing here is clicker training, basic positive reinforcement based stuff. Everything that we do here at All Breed is based on just the basic tenets of operant conditioning. We do a lot of reward-based training, relationship-based training. That's the core of what we do, is building a relationship with the animal that you're working with. It was 180 degrees away from what I had been taught. But I, wanted to give it an honest shake. And it worked. And the idea of there being an alternative out there just completely blew my mind.
Barking and growling and air snapping, and are those things good or bad? Well, you don't want your dog to do those things, but they are forms of communication. I think a lot of times people overreact to those things, and then misunderstanding the laws of behavior, misunderstanding how dogs learn, so they make bad associations.
So we'll see what happens.
Squirt, my boy Squirt. I met Squirt. He came down, I believe it was either Rifle or Gunnison, I can't remember which shelter it was. It was one of the ones in the mountains that we occasionally get dogs from, and they had asked us to take this big galoot of a dog that they had. His name was Squirt, and I'm like, it's kind of an awful name for a dog, but okay. So we took him in, and he came in, and they were like, oh, he's not good with males, and he's not good with new people, and he was immediately rolling around on the floor with us. He really thinks I'm petting him. And I just immediately had this bond with him. I have a particular love for spotted dogs, especially if they have freckles, and he's all freckled up. He's just such a cutie to me.
It's an emotional job around here when you work with rescue dogs. you know, you see all kinds of crazy stuff and, you know, sad situations and tough situations. But there's a lot of joy on the other end of it too, so. Come here, sweetie. Bingo. Bobby. Some guy comes walking out of our kennel back there holding this little puppy. And apparently he thought it was just running around here because it was one of our puppies that got loose. I don't know, but he handed it to me and walked away. And so just one of those things, you know, where I put her in this room and we gave her some food and some water. And went about my business that day and helping these other dogs, and then realized that I didn't want this dog to go into the system. Girl, yes, good girl. Yes, get this off you. Yes.
The statistics are really unimaginable. I don't even want to really talk about it because I'm going to start crying.
There was just sort of this bond there or whatnot, and so lo and behold, bingo. I took her home, and she's a pit boxer mix, we think, and she can be a little intense, and so I think in the wrong hands that potentially could have turned into a dog that would have ended up at the Humane Society. And so, I mean, pretty much when I made that commitment at that point, it's just part of what you need to do to be a responsible dog owner.
Alice, look. Alice. The first few times I actually sat in a class and taught behavior, it was a disaster. I was sweaty, I was hot, I got into the car after the whole thing was over and I cried. I was just that scared of it, but I believed in what I was doing.
Hi, what are you doing?
And now I've worked my way up to being the lead trainer.
All right.
We have different expectations of humans, and sometimes we apply those same expectations to dogs, and so it can be pretty damaging to a dog if it's the wrong dog and the wrong circumstances and the wrong connections and those kinds of things.
Kinda wasn't expecting that. He's just a great dog. I hope he gets adopted. If I didn't have a house full of dogs myself, I mean, he would be one of the ones I would take home.
And if you'd told me I was going to be doing that 14 years ago, I'd been like, you're crazy. That would never happen. Allbreed has afforded me a lot of opportunities for self-growth. I am not the person I was 14 years ago, for absolutely sure.